Hello and welcome once again to the oncoming Brainstorm.
I'm Lewis.
And I'm Sam.
And today we are talking about Big Finish, Doctor Who audio plays.
Yes, we've been looking forward to talking about this for a while now because Big Finish is a great area of the fandom that's rather underexposed.
Yeah, I think in recent years it's really been recognised as another form of Doctor Who that works just as well, even better than the TV series sometimes.
Oh, definitely, and there's a lot of great stories in there that I think a lot of people really appreciate.
And I think in a year where there's going to be no Doctor Who on TV, except for Resolution, it's quite nice that maybe we could explore this alternative to Doctor Who. We're just going to talk quickly about our experiences with Big Finish. So was it you or me who got into it first? I think you listened to Spare Parts first, and then...
Yeah, that sounds about right. There's a reviewer we're both big fans of called Stu Bagful, who made a great list, highly recommend it, where he just listed about, 14 audios that he recommended for people looking to try it, and it just sounded really appealing to me. Spare Parts is quite notorious as a great starting point. It's a Fifth Doctor story, otherwise known as the genesis of the Cybermen.
Yeah, and it has the Mondasian Cybermen, so that's a lot of fun. And yeah, I think one thing that Big Finish does do that I learned through listening to Spare Parts is that it can take concepts that the TV show sometimes misses the mark with, like the Cybermen. There aren't that many great modern Cybermen stories, but there's quite a few in Big Finish, and Spare Parts handles the Mondasian Cybermen really well, and that's something Big Finish can do because it has less limitations in terms of what kind of audience it's trying to push for, and it doesn't have that visual side.
Oh, definitely.
Your imagination can be so much broader, and there's not so many boundaries as to what Big Finish can do. So
yeah, it's funny because the show is generally viewed as more like a family program.
Yes.
And yet some of the stuff in Big Finish you couldn't get away with.
Some of it is haunting and harrowing, and I think because it's aimed at the fans or people who want that, I say, slightly darker or deeper version of Doctor Who. It does that really damn well.
So one of the things about an audio drama is that it's quite unconventional compared to other forms of entertainment. It's not quite like a book or like an audiobook or like watching the show in a lot of ways. It is a very different experience, and a lot of the stories rely on the sounds that are in them to sort of help your imagination along.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes when you listen to like a piece of music or a soundtrack that a piece of music audio can help you in your imagination like imply a place or imply a location, and often dialogue will have to sort of help explain where the characters are, like Doctor, where are we, kind of thing, and then them explaining the environment helps us understand where we are.
Yeah, I mean, some of the weaker stories have a bit of like, oh, what's that across the room from me at the window, climbing through with all those tentacles? Is that a Silurian? It's like all this like descriptive dialogue, and it would be very different. I think a lot of stories would be very different if they were live action. Yeah,
because then you could just show it like, oh, Silurian. I think Chimes of Midnight does that quite well. They're talking about certain objects they're seeing on the floor that are kind of strange. I'm trying to remember.
They knock the jam off it.
The jam, and they think it's blood or something at first, and they're bleeding, and then it's like, oh no, it's just raspberry jam, and then the Eighth Doctor's eating it and stuff, and it's quite fun.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like Sam said, with the experience of listening to a Big Finish audio, at first I wouldn't say I was biased against Big Finish, but I had my reservations. I was a little bit like, I'm so used to watching the show that everyone's like, oh, listen to Big Finish, give him a go, and I'm like, I was a bit on the fence. I was like, I don't know if this is my cup of tea, I don't know if this won't be my thing. But I sat down, gave Spare Parts a go. I was like, even if I just listen to this one and enjoy it, I'd be happy. And it took a few minutes, but once I got there, I just closed my eyes or just sat in my bed and just let it play, and then had like a mental image of what the story looked like.
Yeah, there are lots of stories that make great use of the sound design. One of them, like Scherzo, there's a scene where the Eighth Doctor and his companion are like eating this horrible thing, and they're like cutting it up, and just the squishy noises like in your ear. Or there's some things it does like with shouting and audio that are really interesting as well. Master, that messes around with the audio as well, which I really like. It does. It has this like evil voice like in your ear, be like cut your throat, you know. It's really unsettling, and it creates this kind of foreboding sense, like something horrible is going to happen. One of the other cool things is that, unfortunately, the War Doctor is one of the cool things in the show. Only really got that one story, whereas Big Finish again decided to flesh them out a bit more. It gave them a solid 2 box sets that are meant to be very good. Of course, Big Finish is very expensive. This is part of the reason we made a point of showing Spotify, because there's so much free stuff.
Yes.
On the website, a lot of it's very expensive, and you have to pick and choose what you go for. Because some of the box sets go up to like 30 quid easily.
Like Dark Eyes.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting a lot out of that. You're getting a solid 4 hours worth of stories, but it's still
pricey.
Steep.
Yeah, it can be more pricey than some like Game of Thrones box sets, which have like 10 hours content. So
especially, we're both students.
There you go.
It's been difficult to keep going through it, to be honest.
Yeah, a bit of advice: if you do want to get to Big Finish and you have another nerdy friend who likes Doctor Who, go halves, because that's what we do.
Yeah, you like send the CD to them, you get the download. That works as well. Yeah,
that's a nice way of doing it. One thing we like to mention is that going forward into Big Finish, as their catalogue expands and expands, because there's just so much of it. Yeah. And I don't think they're going to stop anytime soon, because they probably do make big money on it. Looking at the price range of the stuff, with the opportunity of the stuff they could, expand. Definitely Peter Capaldi, because I do love the 12th Doctor. He's up there as one of my favourites.
Yeah.
But to see Capaldi hear Capaldi in audio form would be fantastic, and to get more adventures with one of my favourite TARDIS teams, 12th Doctor, Bill, and Nardell, please, and even Missy maybe. That would just be
I know a lot of people clamouring for some stories that were just like Missy and 12, like travelling the universe.
Could have been series 11.
That I would have loved a series 11 like that, and that could happen in the audios.
In Big Finish.
Which is very exciting.
So there's a lot of opportunity. They could even save Jodie. We get to the end of Jodie Whittaker's final series, and we feel kind of similar to Capaldi, where she could be given better stuff. Maybe down the line she could be given audios.